clothing and apparel, heating, technology, electrical. One thing is true, Black folks have a business for everything you need, want, or could imagine. So let's show some love to all local and national Black-owned businesses, because when you spend money with the Black-owned business, you are helping your community as well as helping yourself. The businesses for this week are Ababech Cafe and Market, fine Ethiopian cuisine in Petworth, D.C. AbabechDC.com. YEG Solar Solutions, LLC. Solar Energy Consulting, Sales and Installation, EV Charging Solutions. YourEnergyGuy.com. The Image of You Event Planning, LLC. Full service event planning and decorations. The Image of You Event Planning.com.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. 95.9 W240DJ, WMMJ HD3, WDCJ-FM HD3, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
The following program is paid for by Barbara Arnwine.
The topics, views, and opinions expressed on the air and via All Igniting Change with Barbara Arnwine, platforms by host Barbara Arnwine Esquire, guests, and supporters are their own and are independent of any organization, entity. Nothing said on the show or any of its platforms constitutes a client-attorney relationship or serves as legal advice counsel. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to Igniting Change, its platforms, or the show's host. It's time now for Igniting Change, a weekly provocative and empowering program where you, the listener, can ignite change. Now here's your host, Barbara Arnwine.
Get up, stand up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Igniting Change. Oh, we're so excited for our show today, and we welcome you from around the country. Oh, yes. Good morning to you West Coasters. Good afternoon across the country. We are just so happy everyone is here with us. We got a great show today. Yes, we're going to be talking about if you want to be on the wall, by the wall. The fight against history removal. Oh, yes, they're trying to erase, they're trying to deny, they're trying to silence, but we're not going for it. So we're going to talk about that during the show. But before we get into that, you know I got to bring up my incredibly talented, brilliant, bold strategist. Oh, he's the leader of the board of the Transformative Justice Coalition, which funds the show, and he is an amazing lawyer extraordinaire in this nation and across this globe. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about none other than Daryl D. Jones. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Barbara, it must be Tuesday. It must be noon Eastern Standard Time because we're talking Igniting Change. And my goodness, Barbara, today's show is just, I can't wait to get into it. I mean, when we start talking about if you want to be on the wall, own the wall, that's a phrase that comes out of Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And you know, one of the things that we see happening across this country right now is this fight with the erasure of Black history, the Black contributions that have built this country. And we see the move from particularly the administration trying to limit and control books and the cultural aspects in the museums that have been going on. That's what this show, Barbara, is going to be built around. And we just have some really exciting guests that are going to be able to just, as Joe Madison used to say, put it where the goats can get it, so that everybody can get a hold of this information and understand what's happening today, Barbara.
You got it. You got it. And, Daryl, you know that yesterday signaled an important milestone, and we want to, as we talk about Black history, we got to talk about what happened yesterday. Everybody, did you know that yesterday was the 100th anniversary of the birthday of Malcolm X.L. Shabazz. We want to make sure that everybody knows that we are so proud that his legacy lives on, right, Daryl?
Absolutely, Barbara, and it doesn't just live on. I mean, it lives on in the folks that knew him, the folks that read the autobiography of Malcolm X. His philosophy, his forcefulness, his ability to be unforgiving in protecting the history and understanding and determining the narrative of the African-American community and the African-American people as a whole is what it was all about, Barbara. And it's great to see the nation continue to recognize and lift up the 100th birthday and every birthday of Malcolm X, Barbara. And I know that I was on a show yesterday where everyone was talking about the contributions and what Malcolm X meant to them and what they learned from him and what they thought that his legacy was in their lives. And it was just a remarkable celebration. And we're so grateful that he walked this earth to lay a path for moving our people forward and black people in general forward.
You know, it's so fascinating to me that Malcolm X, just like Dr. Martin Luther King and so many, was born Malcolm Little, right? He had a different name at his birth. He was born Malcolm Little. He later adopted the name of El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, and he became popularly known worldwide as Malcolm X. This transformation, his autobiography, which changed my life because it was, my awakening, probably politically, when I read his autobiography as a, high schooler. I just want people to know that, it's so important in life to challenge ourselves, to challenge our beliefs, to rise to what the capacity is, the potential that God has put in us, and never to be just satisfied to be only in one place and get stuck there. It's important, and his life was a life of transition, a life of awareness, a life of challenge. I just, think that everyone, join us in saluting the legacy of Malcolm X.
Absolutely.
All right.
And we can only imagine what Malcolm X would think today if he was with us today, what he would say with regards to what he sees, the attack on African-American history, what he sees going on with book banning, what he sees going on with reparations, Barbara. And you were part of one of the reparations pieces that just happened in Washington, D.C.
Well, I want to thank NCOBRA, NARC, NCBL, and so many organizations for having a national assembly this last Friday where they gathered people fighting for reparations from throughout the United States together. It was amazing to see, people from Washington State, people from Maine, people from Colorado, people from California, people from Texas, people from, literally, Illinois, come on now, people from Washington, D.C., Virginia, Florida. You talk about it. We had the people were there to talk about reparations, Georgia. I mean, they were all there. In fact, Georgia had a large contingent of young people from the Sankofa movement. I mean, it was just gorgeous. And I was so moved to see how this movement has evolved, expanded, and how many people are pressing their states right now. In fact, in Washington State, they are voting, the governor will decide today whether or not to approve a passed piece of legislation to set up a reparations study commission. There were so many of these kinds of reports, thank to everybody in Maryland and everywhere else around the country who gathered to share all the amazing hard work they're doing. And thanks to NCOBRA, NARC, NCBL, that's the National Conference of Black Lawyers folks, and others who really worked so hard, to Nkechi Taifa, to Adjua Ayatoro, to so many who just made this happen. I am so proud of you. Keep on working, keep on pushing. Reparations is no joke. It is something beyond just money, people. You need to, read more about what comprehensive reparations look like. And in that regard, I got a hero and I don't know what to call the other person. I want to talk about the shero, Summer Lee, for reintroducing 4 days ago H.R. 40 in the United States House of Representatives. People say, oh, well, that this Republican-controlled House isn't going to do anything. But you know what? If you don't speak up, you don't get anywhere in this life. Nobody hears you. And you want to always lay your marker that you did the work, and one day the tide's going to come your way. And things are going to be the way they should be, and I am so proud of her. Now, on the negative side, I'm not happy. And Daryl, I gotta go there. I'm not happy with what Governor Westmore did in vetoing the bill. I thought it was overkill, unnecessary. I think he could have cured any issues he had through executive order. I don't agree with his not approving the legislation. Go ahead, Daryl.
And, Barbara, I'm in downtown Annapolis as we speak, and you may hear the Blue Angels flying overhead because it's a graduation time here at the U.S. Naval Academy, so I'm right down the street from Governor Moore. But I tell you, the one thing that we now can look forward to in Maryland on the reparations movement is that we know that the Legislative Black Caucus, along with other members of the Maryland General Assembly, are going to be working to override the veto that's gone in place so they can still have the reparations study commission to study reparations for the state of Maryland. So that will remain in place, and I look forward to seeing the Legislative Black Caucus work with Governor Moore with regards to what Governor Moore focused on, which is, actually going past simply looking at the study and putting it in place. So, it's going to be, I believe, a real positive time, Barbara.
Right, and I know that was a long intro, everybody, so let us get into our amazing show because we got some guests for you. They are on hold and they're ready to go. And I want to tell you that we are so proud to have with us today Dr. Karsonya Whitehead. Yes, she's back, everybody. She is the Associate Professor of Communications and African American Studies at Loyola University. She's founding Executive Director of the Carson Institute for Race, Peace, and Social Justice. She's part of the 2025 Who's Who in Black Baltimore. Go on now. She's president of the SALA, the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. She's host of Today with Dr. K on Morgan State University's WEAA.FM every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. through 6 p.m. ET. Hey, welcome, Dr. K. Welcome back.
Hey, Sister Barbara. I'm telling you, your intro alone has me charged up over here. I could just sit here like people often say, where is Barbara's church? Pass the plate here. Thank you for inviting me. It's such a delight.
We're so glad you're here. We also are so happy to welcome back to the show. He is a constant contributor to the program, and that is none other than Carl Snowden. Hey, Carl.
Good morning. Good afternoon, actually, Barbara. And I joined with Dr. K. That introduction you did was a fantastic introduction, particularly lifting up Malcolm X at a time that we need the spirit of Malcolm to be prevailing.
Well, thank you for being the convener of the Caucus of African American Leaders, former director of the Office of Civil Rights for the Attorney General of the state of Maryland, and that's where you just changed so much in the state. You're a former Annapolis City alderman, a professor of history and political scientist, president and founder of Carl Snowden and Associates. Come on, folks. We know he's a civil rights activist, author, and frequent newspaper guest columnist. Thank you so much for joining us, Carl. Daryl, you want to introduce none other than the Honorable Maryland former state senator, Michael B. Mitchell.
Oh, absolutely, Barbara. Former Maryland State Senator Michael Bowen Mitchell is with us, too. Let me tell you, Senator Mitchell, not only is he a former state senator, Barbara, he's a former assistant state's attorney for Baltimore City. He was a member of the Baltimore City Council, a member of the prominent Baltimore family of the same name. Let me tell you, Senator Mitchell was born in Baltimore, Maryland. His father, Clarence Mitchell Jr., his nickname the 101st U.S. Senator, because of the work that he did and support that he did on the Civil Rights Act of 64 and the Voting Rights Act of 65. This, we refer to the Mitchell family